Hi, I'm Jack Buck. You're just in time. In time for what? Top Star Bowling, right inside here at the Marlboro Lanes. Come on, join us, will you? Hi, how are you? It's time for another week of Top Star Bowling from the Marlboro Lanes. I'm Jack Buck, and we're here at the village of Marlboro, just southwest of the city of St. Louis, right on Route 66, the gateway to the west, with more Top Star Bowling. Before introducing our defending champion, who's back for the 4th consecutive time and the challenger this week, a bit about the show. 3 games, total pins count, $1,000 to the winner. Hence, our defending champion has already won $3,000. $500 to the loser, and the winner comes back to take on another opponent. $2,500 in additional prize money is up for grabs, presented by the King Louis shirt folks, and it's $1,500 for the high series and $1,000 for the high game, and Billy Golombieski holds fourth in both of those departments at this point. I'd like to introduce a fellow who's from Detroit, formerly from Minneapolis, where he won a lot of honors, and here in the past few weeks he's won a good many more honors and a lot of money. Folks here at Marlboro have come to know him quite well. Bob Strampe. You're going to change sides, huh? Bob's usually superstitious about which side he comes up on. You're wearing a little path between St. Louis and Detroit, aren't you?
Well, it's a fine path. The airplane ride's real nice.
And you can afford it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We've got a very tough opponent for Bob Strampe this week, a fellow who's a graduate of the junior bowling program a few years ago, and he wants to become king of the hill and knock off Bob Strampe. To try to list his titles would be an endless job. Let me say twice Masters champion, Dick Hoover. Dick, good to see you.
Fine, Jack. Nice seeing you.
We say St. Louis now, but we can't neglect the folks in Akron, right?
That's right. It's always nice to see all the folks here in St. Louis and also the ones in Akron, Ohio.
Who won the toss of the coin?
I was fortunate enough to win the toss, Jack.
And you're going to do?
I'm going to start on lane 21.
We'll enjoy watching you, the handshake, and away we go.
Richard?
Bob Strampe, our defending champion, Dick Hoover, the challenger, this week on Top Star Bowling. This is our first game of 3. Total pins count. Dick Hoover on lane 21, and let's see how the match begins. Can't start any better than that. Alongside is Jerome Whitey Harris, a member of the Brunswick advisory staff of champions. You'll be hearing and enjoying his commentary as we go along. And now it's Bob Strampe trying to become a 4-time winner here in Top Star Bowling, which would be rather unique. Trying to equal the strike. And the 10-pin tap, and the crowd groans here at Marlboro. Al Savas was defeated by Strampe. Tom Hennessy couldn't knock him off. Ted Hoffman Jr. was eliminated. Strampe and Hoover this week. He missed a couple of 10-pins here previously, previous weeks. And Whitey just nudged me with the right knee. You thought he had blown that one too, huh?
I thought it was gone, Jack, when his ball took off, but he probably killed it a little bit, realizing that he's had trouble in the past weeks with that 10-pin.
Strampe is from Iowa originally. Now lives in Detroit. Spent a lot of time in the service where he won quite a few bowling titles. Another 10-pin. He's just got to stay there on that line and keep firing until those 10 pins start to drop for him. Each of these bowlers is shooting at a high game of 258 and a high series of 686, both compiled by Billy G. of Detroit. Strampe has come fairly close, but hasn't been able to dislodge his fellow bowler from Detroit. So 2 spares.
I think, Jack, that it looks like he's really taking his time on that 10-pin. Maybe it would last when he was missing those other ones. He was just going up too fast.
Now let's see if Dick Hoover, who won the toss, and elected to lead off and got a strike, can double here in the second frame. Failed to get to the hit pin. 1-2-10. Dick will throw the ball about as hard as any of these professional bowlers we see.
That's right, Jack, although he has the ability to, if you want to say he can slow the ball up, but it's still a pretty hard ball he throws.
Slow it up or down?
Down, I imagine. That would be the proper...
Attaboy, Dick. Attaboy. We don't want to see any opens this early in the match. In fact, not at all. That's the joy of being associated with Top Star Bowling, Whitey. We don't have to root for anybody. We're not concerned at all about who wins. All we like to see is what most bowling fans like to see, a good match.
You're right, Jack. All I like to do is have something to say.
Say something about that. Strike, spare strike for Dick Hoover. We're at the Marlboro Lanes, where the particular lanes being employed are certified by the American Bowling Congress. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the ABC. And we've had some wonderful personalities come and go here on the show. Bob could very well have 3 in a row. 2 10-pins stopped him, and now he gets on a strike for the first time. And he's only 1 pin behind. There's that pretty young girl again who is here at all our Top Star Bowling sessions. Seated in the same location. Strampe gets a double.
I think you're gaining headway because if I'm not mistaken, weren't you seated at a table with her?
Just before the match, I had to find out a little bit about her background, her bowling background. Both are popping that ball into the pocket, and each has a double, with Hoover 1 pin ahead. I mentioned the 3 whom Strampe vanquished: Savis, Hennessy, and Hoffman. Others have been along: Don Carter, Billy G., Al Thompson. 3 in a row for Hoover. Is that typical of Hoover's carries?
Yes, Jack, and plus he's using a crown jewel ball, and he'll keep throwing hard in that fashion, and sometimes he comes up with an 8-10, but he don't change the angle.
Our Detroit bowler has to get one here to match him. And he does. Both are very much at home. Hoover has 40 through the second with a 3-bagger. Strampe has 39 through the second, also with 3 in a row. Who's going to get 4? There's 1-4. I bet if Billy G is watching this, he's squirming that 135 pounds around in front of the TV set, ready to send that deep freeze back.
I don't think anybody should go to the deep freeze, Jack. The way these two are bowling, they're liable to miss something.
Hoover just missed something. Missed the 2-pin and almost missed the head pin. So he stops as Strampe continues to strike. If you like to bowl, you don't know how, that's easily taken care of. Your bowling proprietor can remedy the situation because more than likely he's equipped with a Learn to Bowl program. A teaching method which employs sound films produced for specific groups. Youngsters, men, women, seniors. Your proprietor can tell you all about the Learn to Bowl program. You're missing a lot of fun if you're not a bowler.
Jack, you were kidding with Dick about being on a junior program. He actually won the National All-Star Championship at the age of 21.
And the 4-pin stops him this time. Dick Hoover from Akron, now lives in St. Louis. He's quite a water skier. He likes the water. He's a boating enthusiast. Doesn't go in for golf as much as a lot of the pro bowlers. Now Bob Strampe is up. Bob has 4 in a row, and he's bowling in the 7th frame. He has taken the lead here in the first game. Almost had the 8-10, but he leaves his 3rd 10-pin of this game. He nodded his head yes, as if he knew something. I couldn't see anything particularly wrong with the delivery.
He just wishes he would have carried it, Jack, because I think, like we said, I think we'll have to see a lot of strikes in this match.
He's about 10 pins ahead. There have been no opens. He is precisely 10 pins ahead. Each has a spare working in the 7th frame of the first game.
I noticed Bob, Jack, when he has the ball in his hand and when he starts on his approach, he's one of those fellas that curls that little finger underneath. You'll be able to see it on the backswing here.
He's back on one. So Strampe gets his 5th strike. He put 4 of them in a row in the middle of the game. He could go on to 258, and that would only tie Billy G, who has the high game for $1,000. But what a start it would be toward that 686. I think Dick expected a little more action than he got. Leaves a 2-4-5-8.
Jack, in this 2-4-5-8, that Brunswick pin finder enables the bowler to see the lights are still on, and we'll just see how Dick shoots this. Majority of his pros have been shooting this. Well, he's on the center dot, and he'll throw probably right at it.
He's had 4 strikes. Well, he didn't say anything, so I won't. We'll just let you folks conjure up your own thoughts with regard to that miss.
I think the ball got away from him, Jack. It looks like it, because he normally wouldn't be that far out to the right to pick that 2-4-5-8.
That was the first open of the game. Now it's the 9th frame for Hoover. That's the way you got to come back. After a miss like that, you've got to bear down that much more. Bob Strampe is ahead by 14 pins. A chance to increase it with a hit right here. 9th frame. Yeah, he gave it a little jiggle out there, a little twist. And he tried to help those pins go down. I don't think he actually affected the outcome, but the final result was good. He got his double. And he now has 6 strikes in the game, goes into the 10th frame with a chance for 258. What a start that would be toward that 686. And this is his favorite lane, this 21. Miss Strampe doesn't want to go home. Must like St. Louis and the money involved. This is his 4th match, and he's out in front.
He gets one more strike, Jack. Wherever you are, Billy G, don't turn off the set.
He had 4 in a row. He now has 3 in a row. He's had no opens. This is his 2nd ball in the 10th frame, and the 10 pin stops him. He clutched at the heart as he came back.
He certainly has some actions with his hand, I've been noticed at different time. He zeroes it out. Go ahead, Jack.
That's his 4th 10 pin. Very fine start. We told you before he had trouble with that 10 pin on previous weeks. He ends with 246. Dick Hoover have to crack 3 in there for 222. And a 24 pin disadvantage. He has a strike in the 9th. The ball ran quite a bit, I think more than he wanted it to run.
Could have been, Jack, when he, on that lane before, if you remember when he shoot at 2-4-5-8, he was out a little bit, and he might have given the ball a little more lift. And that's what happened. It ran right in and left that 4-7.
It's rather precarious to try to search for the proper elements in a three-game match. He gets a spare, 202 with a hit. This will be a little reversal. Strampe has always trailed at the end of the first game in his previous matches.
That's what I can't understand a little bit, Jack. Of course, that they have their own beliefs of, although Hoover won the toss, and he elected to shoot on 21.
He ends with 2-0-2. So the first game is over, and it promises a lot of excitement to come. With Dick Hoover registering a 2-0-2 and Bob Strampe a sizzling 2-46. Well, it doesn't take very long to go through one game with the speed of this A2 automatic pin setter and ball return, along with the many strikes that our bowlers have provided for us, and a difference of 44 pins at the end of the first game. Peculiar thing, this is the fourth appearance for Bob Strampe, and at the end of the first game in each of his 3 previous appearances, he's always been behind. I don't know how he's going to react, and I don't know what Dick Hoover's going to do about it, but we're going to see all about it here in the second game on Top Star Bowling. And now Bob Strampe is the leadoff man in the second game. Cracked out 7 strikes.
What did he say to you when you were coming back up there?
Oh, I said something about him being behind in each of the first games. And I was wrong. Al Savis was behind in his first match.
And these fellas forget their matches.
For the first time in my life, I'm wrong again. My golly, what's going on with that 10-pin? There goes 10 of that 44-pin lead. He missed a 10-pin in the first game. It didn't hurt him too much. But in previous weeks, that's the 5th 10-pin that he has missed. Am I right with the figure, Whitey?
No, that's correct.
And the strike.
I think the bowlers like this, Jack, even if they're pros, they can still build that mental block of where when he's shooting for any of those pins on the right side of the lane, he's going to be a little leery of them.
He had a terrific start toward that high series of 686. But nothing doing in the first frame for him. Watch Hoover now after that miss. I tell you something, when you give an opening to one of these fellas, doesn't matter who they are or where they're from, when they see an opportunity, more often than not, they cash in. Dick Hoover had 4 strikes in the first game, starts with 2 here. Well, that's the way to avoid that circumstance. Just knock that 10-pin down and get the strike. You won't have to worry about it. Bob Strampe. There's another 10-pin.
Would you want to discuss something else now at the present time?
No, he might be glad he got it. I'm sure he feels he needs the practice.
Well, I think this would be the turning point, Jack. If he picks this up, this guy's going to be really full of confidence.
There's one little pin sitting out there. Attaboy, Bob. So it's a miss, a strike, and a spare. Whenever Dick Hoover starts with strikes, you have to start thinking of 300 games. He has 6 sanctioned 300 games. Bowled one in the World's Invitational a couple of years ago. One in the San Jose Open. He's got 3 in a row. Three in a row for Dick Hoover. Dick, a great team bowler. He's been a member of a team which won the BPAA National Match Game. He and Glenn Allison oftentimes appear in, hey, 8-pin.
Jack, there was that pitch, which is usually what happens to Dick Hoover. He runs a bunch of strikes for a while, and then all of a sudden that 8-10 pops up. That actually was an 8-10 hit, but he got a break on that 10-pin.
Are you saying that he comes up with it more often than most of the other good bowlers?
Most of the pros, and one of the reasons is he builds up this speed every once in a while.
Well, there's the spare, and he has whittled into that Strampe lead. He's taken care of about 30 out of the 44. That was a beautiful ball. Strampe with excellent speed. And a perfect hit for a strike. I can get some of those pins back.
And I think, Jack, you're in referring to speed so often, we don't mean that the ball is being thrown hard. Sometimes the average bowler gets the wrong idea when they hear us say speed. By speed, it's just a moderate roll there.
On the nose, the 6-7-10. So rather than the double, which would be ideal, Strampe reaches the other extreme with a split in the 5th, and he's been having so much trouble picking the 10-pin. It would seem he stands very little chance of converting this. Maybe, though. He takes down the 9 pins. He has 2 opens in the first 5 frames in the second game after enjoying a pin lead of 44. Dick Hoover started with 3 in a row, then a spare. He's in the 5th frame. He's about cut that lead in half. The 5-7 confronts Mr. Hoover. Dick Hoover going after the 5-7. Nope. Didn't quite get there. He wanted it, so he opens. And now, through the 5th frame of the second game, Dick Hoover has 105. Bob Strampe has 77. Hoover trails by 16 pins. And after starting with 3 in a row, then a split, 3 in a row, a spare, and a split, Hoover gets his 4th strike. He already has as many strikes in this game as he had in the first game. It's a good one, Whitey. A very enjoyable match here on Top Star Bowling. And another 10-pin. Let's see, 2 in this game. 4 in the first game he has left.
And look where he has to stand, Jack. He's completely against that terminal, the return.
Attaboy, boy. I wonder if he's ever had so much trouble with 10 pins before.
I don't think so, Jack. Of course, it's like everything else. Fella gets off on a line or something, like what he might be trying to establish, and it ends up that's what's happening to it. That ball breaks sharp for him.
Strampe now in the 7th frame. On the nose and a carry. Dick Hoover has 105 through the 5th with a strike. Bob Strampe has 97 through the 6th, likewise with a strike. Each man has a strike working as Hoover bowls in the 7th. He's picked up 38 pins. He's down by only 6, and he might be ahead right now. He might be ahead in this match, depending on what Strampe does with that strike he has going.
Difference would have to be, Jack, almost another frame.
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm talking about
analyzed
the fact that if Hoover hits again and Strampe doesn't.
Yes, that's...
8th frame. Richard going for 3 in a row. He's very intense, isn't he? Looks like he just delivered a knockout blow in a heavyweight championship fight when he comes back with that fist clenched. We talk about bowling being a relaxing game. Well, this is a little different than what we refer to on a Saturday or a Sunday for you. Or the 8-10 for a moment. And a 10-pin to shoot at. Let me see now. He has left 1, 2, 3 10-pins in this game and 4 in the first game. He covers it. So he has 117 through the 7th with a spare up. To all intents, and until Hoover bowls again, the match is about even. Dick has a couple of pin lead. The big item is that he has overcome the 44-pin deficit with which he was confronted. Strampe in the 9th frame gets one to work on. Now, the advantage swings to him unless Hoover hits. Dick has had one open. Remember that 5-7 split in the 5th frame? So after a 202 game, he's coming back strong. Bob Strampe is struggling after a 246. Can't stand up when you hit him like that. That's 4 in a row for him. He could go on to 255, which would not top the high single held by Golombiewski. And Billy has only a few more opponents to sweat out, to use that phrase. Buddy Bomar takes on the winner of this match. There's his first one on the roll-off. And that's 5 in a row. You're talking about taking charge and coming back. That's 5 after starting with a 3-bagger. He has 8 strikes.
Jack, Dick sort of likes his top star bowling format. In last year's show, he won 4 matches out of 5.
I had forgotten about that. Another one. Boy, is he in a groove, huh? He's going to end with 250-some. Could be 255 if he hits again. After a 202.
I always like to see those big men getting strikes.
That's because you're one yourself. Dick Hoover has had 3, 6, 9 strikes, looking for 10 and 255. Strampe made a nice comment to him. I don't know what it was, but I'm certain it was a very worthwhile remark to Dick Hoover. Nice game, Dick, or something of the sort. 457 for Hoover at the end of 2 games. Strampe could go on to a 197. And he did not get that 4-pin. He was looking for late help there. But as soon as that Brunswick automatic touches that upright pin, why, that's it. Even if it goes down, it has to be respotted. So Strampe couldn't strike. He does spare. He has 157 through the 9th. A hit will give him 177. And 423, and he'll be 34 pins behind after starting 44 ahead. And the 3rd game could change it around just as readily. 177 with a split and a miss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes for Strampe and a total of 10 in the game for Dick Hoover. So Hoover has 457 at the end of the 2nd game, and Bob Strampe has 423. A chance now to visit with Mr. Cliff Virgin before the start of the 3rd game between Bob Strampe and Dick Hoover, and didn't things change around? Cliff here is the administrative assistant at a Veterans Administration hospital, and a chance to talk about bowling on that level. First of all, quite a match here, huh, Cliff?
I'm enjoying it thoroughly, Jack. It's really all right.
Mr. Hoover could have had 12 in a row very easily.
He sure could have.
What goes on with regard to bowling at the Jefferson Barracks Hospital?
Jack, we have 6 lanes at our hospital, and these 6 lanes are Brunswick lanes, by the way, I might mention.
I'm glad you said that. I was going to, though.
And we have quite a group of patients out there. Now, as you know, we have about 815 beds, and quite a lot of our boys are very enthusiastic bowlers. And we do have 2 leagues going throughout the fall and winter season, plus the fact we have bowling every day. Now, bowling, as you know, is prescribed quite often as a relaxation, and of course we know it's a sport. our doctors at the hospital have patients assigned for that. As we have some of our boys that are pretty sick boys, we do have some in the hospital that are neuropsychiatric. And as a result, this is relaxation for them and allowing them to get out and enjoy themselves.
The big thing is it can go on all year, too.
Yes, sir.
How about on a national level? Does this happen elsewhere?
This happens throughout all of our hospitals in the VA that do have our bowling facilities, Jack. And I would say 2/3 of our hospitals in the country, especially your psychiatric ones, do have bowling lanes.
How about the Bowlers Victory Legion? You want to talk about that for an instant?
Well, now, Mr. Eversole, who is in charge of the Bowlers Victory Legion, every year furnishes us top-flight bowlers out at the hospital. They come out and spend a day and visiting with our patients, getting them interested in bowling, bowling with them right on our lanes. I might mention we have gentlemen such as Whitey Harris, who's been out quite often. Ray Bluth has been out there quite a number of times. And I would say that a lot of our top-flight bowlers do come out every year. We have them every year.
So you can talk from the heart when you talk about bowling
Yes,
and
sir.
Veterans Administration work.
Yes, sir.
Cliff, thank you very much for the visit.
Thank you, Jack.
Enjoy the third game along with the rest of us.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Cliff Virgin, our guest. Well, we've kept the bowlers waiting long enough. A lot of money on the line here on Top Star Bowling, so let's watch the third game. Well, I hope you've been with us throughout. Quite a contrast. Dick Hoover, 202 and then 255. Bob Strampe, 246 and then 177. And Hoover gets back on a strike to start it. Hoover trailed at the end of the first game by 44 pins and leads now by 34 pins. A difference of 78. Really made him up in a hurry. Strampe could do the same thing. And the 4-7 confronts him. Strampe started with 7 strikes, dwindled to 5. Hoover, with a relatively slow start, 4 strikes in the first game, came back with 10 of them. Now Strampe gets a spare, and each has bowled in the first frame.
Jack, your guest was very interesting, and thank you for the plug. But also on our staff, you take like Bob Strampe here. He goes to quite a few of the vets hospitals in the Midwest, out in Minnesota. This is a wonderful program, and unless you're involved in it, you don't realize what you actually accomplish by visiting these vets.
That's what Bob Strampe wanted. Something to go on. You got to have that foothold. You got to dig in and start stringing them when you're down by 34. Of course, Dick Hoover's going to have something to say about it. Dick trying to upset Strampe, who has won 3 consecutive Top Star Bowling shows. Wow. Wow, did he shake that 10-pin?
I think we'll put a little arrow alongside of that, Jack, to see if it will refresh us if that would have been maybe a turning point in the match.
Bob Strampe probably saying, and not maliciously, how do you like it, Dick? I've had about a half a dozen of those myself. Down goes the 10-pin. So in this particular game, and because Strampe has a strike going, he has a bit of an edge and a chance to do something about the 34 pins by which he is down. Oh, my golly.
I guess
Did you see that pin sail across in front of that 7? Put another arrow down. I know what you're going to say. 10-pin and then a 7-pin.
Where's the Indians with all these arrows? It was actually interpreting what I meant, Jack. 400 for 2 games. He's averaged 200, and by that I mean he will throw a big 200 game this time, I'm pretty sure.
So Hoover has strike, spare, spare. And Strampe, with a hit right here, can dig into that Hoover lead. Inside the 3rd arrow. And another 10-pin. How many has he had? He had 2, 3, 4 in the first game. 5, 6, 7. That's his 8th 10-pin that he has left. Can't do much about that except keep firing and keep sparing. He didn't make full use of that strike, and he threw that away. I had a chance to ask him, and he told me that 10-pin has never plagued him before with regard to the spare. Said it has to do with the speed of the ball. He's trying to keep the ball slow, and hence isn't reaching way out with it. Couldn't get the break after that. Leaves a 4-pin. Dick Hoover at 4:57 going into this, needs a 2:30 game in order to eliminate Billy G's highest series of 686. There's spare for Strampe. He still has a lot of time. He'd like to have more time, but he still has a lot of time. Dick Hoover bowling in the 4th frame. He's really kicking him out. Really winging that ball. He has 59 through the 3rd. Strampe, you open 48. So an additional 11 pins and a 45-pin lead for Dick Hoover at this point as he bowls in the 5th, looking for a double, and he gets it. Man, he's liable to be around for a long time. That's his 3rd strike in this game. Dick Hoover, I reiterate, needs 230 for the highest series thus far. Boy, those 10 pins have murdered him. Not the fact that he missed them, the fact that he didn't carry those strikes. He may be in or out of this match on this delivery. He doubles in the 6th. He could go on to a 258. So anything can happen yet. 248. Dick Hoover has 2 in a row. Anything can happen. 4-9. 4-9. But he was ahead by 45 pins a moment ago. We'll figure it out when this frame is all over. And of course, a lot will depend on what Bob Strampe does in the 7th. Hoover at one time in this game in recent frames was 53 pins ahead. He has a chance, of course, to cover this. Looked like he played it safe, Whitey, and went for the 1 pin.
It's possible, Jack, although I believe of any of the top bowlers, the top pros, Dick has that ability to bring a pin back. He throws, remember I was discussing you one time, a hard ball.
You mean get that kick back up under the...
Yes, he brings back pins more than anyone else.
This is 7th frame for Hoover. Flew right over, didn't it? That 2-pin flew right over the top of the 4-7.
Well, this isn't anything against Dick's bowling, and I believe that he'd admit it too, as this match is getting now down to the part where everything starts to tighten up. I think he increases his speed, and that's what happens when you throw a ball hard. You just drive those pins past the 4-7.
Well, now he can increase it any more. He covered that 4-7. So he has 115 through the 6 with a spare. Strampe could string them together and really dig into that lead and tighten up this match and make it more than exciting. 3rd arrow, nice delivery, strike, 3 in a row. He didn't choke, did he? 3 in a row for Strampe.
I'd say the only one that's choking is me trying to keep this score.
Another hit right here would really be valuable for Bob. Another hit right here, and he'll catch Hoover in this particular game and start doing something about the disadvantage. On the nose, another nose hit. Oh, Hoover, should have seen Hoover lean up and look over at that score sheet. That's 4 in a row for Strampe. He could go on to 248. Hoover has to start striking here if he wants to assure himself of victory. Hoover with a spare up, bowling in the 8th frame. Leaves a 9-pin.
That was that same hit, Jack, but the 4-pin dropped that time.
He's got to keep sparing, at least. And that may not be enough. His best could be 214. We could have a tie here, couldn't we? We could have a tie game here. If Hoover goes on to 214 and Strampe reaches his potential of 248, we'll have a tie.
I'm grabbing your Top Star rule books to find out exactly what we will do.
Dick Hoover, a 9. Needs a strike. Gets a strike. Okay, here Strampe either does it or he doesn't.
A lot of the audience realize this possibility of a tied match, Jack, and they're certainly enthused about it because they sure would like to see what would happen.
No matter the roll-off, this is where Strampe really needs one. He's got 4 in a row. What a comeback this would be. And he'll be rolling off on his favorite lane. So if he can carry one here, uh-oh. 310. Boy, he just threw right at that head pin that time. Still not over. However, it appears that if Hoover just marks, why, that would do it. Strampe's got to get this. And he didn't. He opens in the 9th. That gives Bob. It's all over. 175, 184, and here's his 10th frame.
214, Jack, if he strikes it out.
And he's not going to strike it out. So 204 would be his best, and that would be 627. So Hoover's got it. There's a spare. Now he needs 10 for 204. The 9th frame, that 310 split on the tail end of 4 in a row. The 10-pin he missed back in the 3rd frame. Hoover's 4-9 in the 6th gave him an opportunity. Bob Strampe ends with 203. 203 for Bob. And 626. Billy G will still have the high series and the high game. With that King Louis shirt money. This is the roll-off for Hoover. Leaves a solid 10-pin. 194 is his best now, which would give him 651. He only needed a 230 game, so that split stopped him. I'm talking about for that high series money. He'll probably blame Strampe for that. Hoover, our winner, as here in the 10th, he opens, ends with 182 and has 639, and Bob Strampe 203, 626, a 13-pin victory for Dick Hoover. A bit later, we'll have a chance to take care of the money aspect of things here on Top Star Bowling and chat with the two. But right now, because we have time remaining, and by the way, you fellas bowled 1 game in 12 minutes out here on Top Star Bowling. That's really breezing through. And because of the speedy ball return with these Brunswick A2 automatics, we do have time left. So how about some fun for about 3 minutes, Bob? Huh?
Well, it'd be fine with me, but we kind of had something all organized.
What was that?
We thought it'd be real interesting. We're going to let you and Whitey run the rat race, and Dick and I are going to do the announcing.
I don't think that'll work either way.
I think Dick would agree to it here.
Dick?
I'm all for that, Jack.
Now, let's go the other way, and we'll do that next week.
Well, all right, if that's the way you want it.
Okay. We'll sound a buzzer, and you see how many strikes you can get in a 3-minute time period. The buzzer will end the little competition. Nothing involved except a lot of fun, and no politeness, please. When you hear the buzzer, let him fly. There we go. You see, he's been around here, Dick. Yeah, there goes the strike. You'll learn the tricks. You'll learn the tricks after You've been around here for a while, Dick. Be able to do things like that. Things are going up and down like... Only 9 there. You got any trick shots up your sleeve? We'd like to see them. One minute has gone by. Still easy to get strikes. Hoover lost the line. Attaboy, Bob. Brooklyn. And another one. We have a minute and a half left. Attaboy, Bob. We have 45 seconds remaining. Got a half a minute. Oh! See how easy it is? "15 seconds. Gone through 7 frames, each of them have. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Gotta get rid of it before the buzzer goes. Let it go. And that's it. A lot of fun. And those little time trials we have are always a lot of fun. And we'll have a pretty young lady along in just a moment to present the prize money to our 2 bowlers on Top Star Bowling. Well, Dick Hoover, the winner this week on Top Star Bowling. And each week, along with the checks, comes a young lady who is a graduate of the John Robert Powers School of Modeling and the Pat Allen Agency here in St. Louis. Rhonda Lee is the young lady this week. Rhonda, good to see you.
Good to see you.
That was a good match, huh?
Very exciting.
Listen, you were here a couple of weeks ago to present the prize money. Have you been bowling since then? Tell the truth.
Well, I love bowling, but I don't get too much of a chance to do this.
Make a promise, though, that you will, huh?
Oh, definitely, after this.
Okay. And the first check is to Bob Strampe, huh?
Yes, very exciting.
Thank you very much.
500, little different.
Well, a little different, but if I could do this about 2 days a week for about 52 weeks a year, you figure it out.
You'd still be missing 10 pins.
Well, could be. That
We'll talk about that.
pin's a little rough.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Rhonda, and the other check?
Yes, $1,000, just beautiful.
Thank you.
Dick, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rhonda Lee, our young lady this week. Bob, you've been fun to be with over the weeks, and
It's been
congratulations.
fun to be here, and
You're a
I
fine
think
bowler.
they'll see Dick in the future weeks to come. He's a fine bowler.
Bob Strampe. In that last game, Dick, you had a crack at the high series. I suppose you'll have to take care of that some other time, huh?
Well, as long as we get another chance, that's the main thing, Jack.
You knew you were shooting at it.
Yes, I thought I was throwing the ball very well, but little 10-pin, the 7-pin there, sort of,
That 8-pin.
yeah, a little bit of everything, a combination of everything.
Buddy Bomar next week, and we'll see you, Dick, huh?
Thank you, Jack.
Dick Hoover. Next week it is. We'll be back here at the Marlboro Lanes, and at that time, Dick Hoover will take on Buddy Bomar, one of the great names in bowling over the years, and you'll enjoy that match. We're here at the Marlboro Lanes in the village of Marlboro on Route 66, southwest of the city of St. Louis, the gateway to the West. I hope you'll agree that it's been a lot of fun. And now, speaking for Whitey Harris, Jack Buck says thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. Top Star Bowling has been presented by Bowling Equipment by Brunswick, the #1 name in bowling. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress.